All right, coming back in for the rest of this standard. So remember, our first thing is we read the question. Okay, you're going to put a box on the location and underline the variables. And then find them in the chart or table. And you're going to compare, which is normally subtraction, or combine, which is putting two parts of that table together. So let's try here. In experiment 1, box around experiment 1, which trial experienced the greatest reduction in velocity? So I'm going to go to experiment 1, which tells me that table 1 has the results. Now which one, and this is a compare question because we're going to look at reductions, that's differences. So 3.1 to 1.5, that's a 1.6 difference. 5.8 to 2.9, what's the difference there? So 5.8, 2.9, and then you're going to go and do the subtraction for that. 3.3 to 1.1. Let's look back before we do all these subtraction problems though. We need to look at trials 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we're only looking at these ones. Okay, 3.3 to 1.1. So we have 2.2, so that's minus 2.2. 6.2 minus 2.0 is minus 4.2. 3.4 to 2.2. And again, you're going to get 1.2. And then 6 minus 3.9, so that's minus 2.1. So which one had the biggest reduction here? That's going to go to here, and then that gives us trial 4. So the answer to number 6 is B. Number 7. Between trial 1 and trial 2, as V naught increased from 3.1 to 5.8, what did VF do? Okay, so I'm going to go to trial 1 and 2. This is where I'm looking. As this went from 3.1 to 5.8, and then we look at VF. So 1.5 to 2.9, it increased by what? 2.9, 1.5. It increased by 1.4. And let's see, this increased by 1.4. The answer to 7 is A. All right, number 8. In experiment 2, so I'll be going to experiment 2. What was the highest recording final velocity for cart 2? So experiment 2 shows my results in table 2. So that's the same place. Now which was the highest recorded velocity for cart 2? Now let's see. The V2 for cart 2, so I'm going to be looking at V2 because that's cart 2. Now let's find the highest number. 5.7 is high, 8.1 is higher. What trial was that? That was trial 12. And the highest was 8.1. So the answer to number 8 is C. All right, number 9. In trial 9 and trial 10 of experiment 2. So these are the two trials that I'm looking at. As V naught increased from 3.3 to 5.9, after the collision, cart 1, so that's going to be V1, because that'll be cart 1, traveled what? So, -1 to -2. Okay, so that means that it was, but the velocity was bigger, just in the different direction. So that is, the answer to number 9 is C. Now, this is your distractor, because it's the right number, it's just the wrong direction. And how you get that answer is you have to read here. This is the caveat to that. A negative sign on the velocity indicates that the car was moving backwards or to the left. So it doesn't mean that it was slower, it just means the direction. And that's the distractor, because negative, positive is direction, not speed. All right, based on the data from table 1, so we're gonna go back to table 1. Oh, but it's gonna say which population, so that means I'm going to this passage. Which population had the greatest decrease in the percent diagnosed between initial test and retest? So we're gonna go to table 1, look at our populations, and we want the biggest decrease in the percent with MD. So table 1 had population A went from 18 to 4, so that is a decrease of 14%. This one went to 48 to 44, so that is, and that's my underline, these are my location, that is down 4%. This one's 4 to 2, that's 2%. That one is 12 to 2, that's minus 8%. So the biggest population decrease was 14%, and that gives us population A. So the answer to 10 is population A. And that's all she wrote.